So a group of Latina college students appeared on MSNBC to give their opinion on Trump versus Kamala. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a group of Latina college students at Temple University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, giving their opinion about Trump versus Kamala after the debate. Now, I've seen some clips of this on the interwebs. It was pretty interesting. And I wanted to show this video to highlight how some young people think. And I say some specifically because I know it's not everybody. I've spoken to young people all over the country and I get different opinions. Some people are very conservative. They're very knowledgeable, really smart, really sharp, way ahead of me, even right now, smarter than I am. But some people, you know, all the lights are on, but ain't nobody home. Okay, they're a few trees short over fours, a few fries short of a Happy Meal. They're not 100% all the way there. Now, what I want to do in this clip is see where they are. And I want to hear from you guys. What do you see in your communities from the young people? If you are a young person yourself, how are you feeling? I want to get feedback from y'all. But first things first, let's go ahead and get straight to the actual clip. Of course, I will always link to the clip in the box. If you're on IG, visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Today, here in Philadelphia, Democrats are targeting a key voting demographic, college students. The DNC is hoping to reach 100,000 students through campus kiosks, billboards, and flyers, urging them to Google Project 2025.
Oh, there we go. And look, you know what? That's really interesting. So what's going to happen is when they Google it, they're going to see results that have been curated by the Democrats. Well, not necessarily curated. What they're going to do is push certain things to the top. And Google will allow certain publications, certain news outlets to get priority treatment. So when you're searching for a news story that's happening, you're going to get results that they have kind of already pre-approved, or you're going to get results from places that are pre-approved. You understand? So all they're going to do is push propaganda. All they're really doing is saying, hey, Google this term, you'll find propaganda that's going to help us. Okay, because let's be clear, Project 2025 is not Trump's plan, but the mainstream media will say that it is.
An effort to tie Trump to the controversial blueprint of far-right policies.
The election is just 56 days away, and both campaigns are increasing outreach to Gen Z voters. So I recently sat down with a group of Latina students just down the road, really, from the debate at Temple University here in Philadelphia to talk about the candidates, the biggest issues in the race, and how they see the stakes come November.
Now, this is pretty interesting how they're using the term Latina and not Latinx. Remember that whole cringe phase that was going on? A lot of my Spanish-speaking friends were like, you know what? This is cringe. I don't like this. This is weird. It's woke. They're trying to change the language because you have masculine and feminine terms in the language. How are you just going to change that to be quote unquote inclusive? That's not how that works, but I digress.
It's our conversation. Show of hands if you're planning to vote in this election. All of you. Keep your hand up if you're excited to vote. A little bit of wavering.
Right when I turned 18, I was really eager to want to vote. My family has very much implemented that into, I think, our household.
The minute I turned 18, I registered to vote.
As young women, especially, and also as Latina women, it's really important to make our voices heard.
You two both said that you maybe aren't as excited to vote. Why?
I guess you could say it's an exciting anticipation, but it is quite stressful. It's a little bit daunting to know that we are the generation that's going to be inheriting this country.
I want to do a little round robin here because we have the debate coming up here in Philly, not too far from here. Knowing what you know about these candidates heading into that debate, what comes to mind when you think of Donald Trump?
I would say unqualified.
Unprepared.
I would say ignorant. Highly influential, but disingenuous.
Selfish and arrogant.
What word or words come to mind when you think of Kamala Harris?
She has a lot of power in her voice.
I would say hope.
I would say strong.
I would say eloquent. She's been very persuasive, and I think persuaded me to vote for her.
Numbing.
What does that mean?
Her administration, what she would serve towards American politics would be another 4 years of kind of stagnant or very small progress, if any.
I'm curious to hear from those who said you're voting for Kamala Harris. Is it a vote for Harris or more against Trump? Olivia.
It's a little bit of both for me. I don't want to see another Trump presidency. January 6th.
Now, but why don't they want another Trump presidency? See, I think once you ask these girls, why don't you like Trump? What's the beef? They're going to just cite media talking points, which is exactly what they were trying to do in the beginning, saying, hey, go Google Project 2025. They're just trying to feed them propaganda. Got these young minds, impressionable. That's what they're banking on.
Just seeing that play out, I was in the history class when it happened. We watched it on C-SPAN on TV. That really made me think I don't ever want our country to go down this road.
Haiti, is it a vote for or a vote against someone?
In all honesty, I would say that it's more so against Trump. Everything that he stands for is really the complete opposite of what I stand for.
My vote, I think it's for Kamala Harris. Harris had said that she would sign some bills that are really important to me. Reinstate Roe v. Wade. I want to see that bill.
That's not how that's going to work at all. She can't reinstate Roe v. Wade from the White House, from the Oval Office. That was a Supreme Court decision. She can't do that at all. That's not going to happen. That's just a false promise that they've been fed.
What issues are most important to each of you in this election?
The jeopardization of education, specifically with critical race theory. I'm worried that if education is taken out of schools, history will just repeat itself.
If there's no education in schools, like, what are we talking about? I don't understand.
Comes to immigration, Donald Trump has obviously shown alarming behaviors when it comes to immigrants and non-documented people. And at the end of the day, I'm a product of all of that.
So are you here illegally? Are your parents here illegally? Well, look, okay, shout out to you. But if you don't have legal status, then what's going on? Go back over there. This is one of the only countries in the world where you could be here illegally and then make demands of your host country. Like they owe you something. They don't owe you a thing. How about your country of origin? What do they owe you?
Somebody who's interested in international relations, the biggest issue for me is the current genocide going on in Palestine.
The main thing on my mind is abortion right. This right is just so vital to, being able to defend our autonomy.
I'm a product of in vitro fertilization. If it weren't for IVF, then I wouldn't be here right now.
See, and then this is more the propaganda. Trump has come out on television several times and said that he supports IVF. And as a matter of fact, he said that he might even have the insurance companies, maybe even the federales, pay for IVF. He's not against IVF. Furthermore, Roe v. Wade, all that does is take the, I guess you would say, responsibility behind the rules, whatever, on abortion from the federal government, and it sends it to the states. So you may live in a very liberal state, and they may say you could delete your baby up until the point of conception. If that's what y'all want, then so be it. I would be against that personally, but hey, I don't live in your state. I'm not you guys. That's your decision to make wherever you live. So it makes more sense. And really, once you actually look at some of these bills and whatnot, a lot of states are going to be even more liberal than what Roe v. Wade called for in the beginning.
So that's an issue that's very important to me as well.
Do you feel like your peer group is more engaged in this election?
With social media like TikTok, it's definitely helped a lot with the campaign.
In what way?
I hate to bring this up. So Charlie XCX has this album, Brat. And so whenever the day that Biden had dropped out, she tweeted, Kamala is Brat. I think at that point, all these memes started coming out. That really influenced young voters, and social media has kind of helped push that.
I think that is going to be a very big benefit to her in terms of young voters, because a lot of us have a very, very positive perception of Kamala Harris based off of a lot of videos that we've seen and this kind of the way that she's been sensationalized through social media.
What would it mean to you to see a woman, the first woman, a woman of color, in the Oval Office?
There's a photo of actually her niece, and you can see her niece with her pigtails, with her braids, of looking at someone who looks like her. I think it's going to be an example for a lot of young girls.
I know my mom at 22 was not probably thinking that she was going to see a presidential candidate that was a woman and of color and also a product of immigrants. When she sees Kamala, she's like, I see you in her. And that to me already kind of makes me want to cry a little bit.
We don't have.
All right, so there we have it. Yeah, a lot of emotion. no substance, a lot of brainwashing, fake stories from the mainstream media, not understanding how politics really work, not understanding how Roe v. Wade really works. But the young people. And you know what? I don't really want to attack the young ladies that much. Shout out to them for being on camera, giving their opinion about what's happening with the election. But as I close, I want to say this. Education is very important. It's very important. And not just what the mainstream media wants to tell you. Education as far as figuring out what's really happening beyond the spin. What's really going on? What is Roe v. Wade for real? What's IVF? Is Trump for it? Is he against it? These are questions that a lot of people have and they don't have a real answer to. All they have is whatever the media wants to tell them. And the media will be funny about it. They will push the narrative of Trump trying to, for instance, ban IVF without pushing it directly. They'll say, oh, well, this move on Roe v. Wade signals a potential impact to IVF. And if he wants to go further on abortion, then he'll also impact IVF. It's a bunch of ifs and maybes and assumptions and things like this rather than actual facts. The actual facts are different than what the assumptions from the mainstream media, which are presented as facts, are. It's a big difference. So hopefully they get educated. All the young folks and old folks, people older than me, my age, hopefully everybody's able to get educated before the election in November. And once you become educated, you can, what they say, once you know better, you do better. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion on the young ladies out there at Temple in Philadelphia as it relates to the election? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I'll also always just misinform young women, not really knowing what's going on, getting a bunch of, social media and just false information. Once people become educated and they have an open mind and they're willing to learn, I think they're better able to make informed decisions. But before that, they're just pretty much doing whatever the mainstream media anticipated that they would do from their research. And they put out certain things from the research that would, that it get to you, that it kind of stick in your mind. That's all that's going on here in my humble opinion. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.